You were flying 5 minutes ago. You're sure of it. There was a city beneath you, and someone you used to know was standing on a rooftop, and you knew exactly what they were about to say. Now you're staring at your ceiling, and all you can hold on to is a feeling. The city is gone. The rooftop is gone. The person's face is already dissolving. In a few more minutes, you won't even remember that you were flying at all. This happens to you almost every single night, and it's one of the strangest blind spots in human experience. Because for the few minutes you're inside a dream, it feels like the most vivid thing that's ever happened to you. Then it vanishes faster than almost any other memory you'll ever form. So, what is actually happening in your brain during those final seconds of sleep that makes an entire imagined world disappear without a trace? Let's start with what a dream actually is, because most people get this part wrong. Your brain doesn't switch off at night. During REM sleep, the stage where most vivid dreaming happens, your brain is almost as electrically active as it is when you're wide awake. Scientists used to think dreaming was random noise, leftover static from a resting mind. Brain imaging proved that wrong. The visual cortex lights up, the motor cortex fires, even though a chemical switch in your brainstem is paralyzing your actual muscles, so you don't act out what you're seeing. The emotional centers of your brain, especially the amygdala, are often more active in a dream than they are in your waking life. For those minutes, your brain is generating a complete sensory experience: sight, sound, fear, love, motion, out of nothing but itself. So, if all of that is happening, why don't you remember it? The first answer lies in a part of your brain called the prefrontal cortex, specifically a region responsible for laying down new long-term memories. During REM sleep, this region goes quiet, almost silent compared to its waking activity. This is the same part of your brain that normally tags an experience and files it away for later. While you're dreaming, that filing system is offline. You're living through the experience in real time, but nothing is being permanently saved. It's a bit like a camera recording video while the memory card has been removed. In 2017, researchers at the University of Genoa used EEG monitoring to study what separates people who remember their dreams from people who almost never do. They found something specific. The people who recalled dreams most often had a particular pattern: a brief spike in activity in the temporoparietal junction, right as they were waking up. That tiny window, the few seconds between dreaming and full wakefulness, determined whether the dream got saved or deleted. Wake up during that spike and the dream sticks. Miss it and the dream is gone before you've even opened your eyes. That's the timing problem. But there's a second, even stranger explanation, and it has to do with a hormone you've probably never thought about in relation to dreams at all: noradrenaline. Noradrenaline is one of the chemicals your brain uses to stamp an experience as important enough to remember. It's part of why a frightening or emotional moment in your waking life sticks with you so clearly. During REM sleep, your brain's noradrenaline levels drop to almost nothing. This is one of the only times all day when this chemical nearly disappears completely, which means your brain is having one of the most emotionally intense experiences of your entire day, and it's doing so during the one window when it has almost no ability to mark that experience as worth keeping. You can dream about losing someone you love and wake up devastated for a few seconds, but the chemical signal that would have burned that memory in permanently was never there to begin with. Researchers estimate that you forget somewhere between 90 and 95% of your dreams within the first 10 minutes of waking up. Not the next day, not by lunchtime, 10 minutes. Some studies suggest the decay starts even faster than that, with large portions of dream content gone within the first 60 seconds of opening your eyes. Compare that to almost anything else you experience while conscious. A conversation, a meal, a walk outside, all of it gets at least partially encoded into memory. Dreams are different. They are, by some measures, the least remembered experience the human brain produces, despite often being the most emotionally vivid. So why would evolution build a brain that manufactures an entire emotional world every single night and then almost immediately throws it away? One theory, proposed by sleep researchers studying memory consolidation, is that dreaming isn't built for you to remember at all. It might be a side effect of something else entirely. Your brain sorting through the day's experiences, strengthening some neural connections connections and pruning others. Under this theory, the dream you experience is something like the noise of a much quieter process happening underneath it, your brain reorganizing itself while you're unconscious. You're not meant to walk away with the footage. You're only supposed to walk away with whatever the sorting process leaves behind. Another theory goes further. Some researchers believe dreams may function as a kind of threat simulation, a low-stakes rehearsal space where your brain runs you through danger, conflict, and loss, so that if something similar ever happens while you're awake, part of you has already practiced it. If that's true, the value of the dream isn't in remembering the specific images. The value is in having run the simulation at all, the way training for an emergency matters, even if you never consciously think about the drill again. But here's where it gets strange. Even though you forget almost everything, you don't forget all of it equally. Studies on dream recall have found that women report remembering their dreams significantly more often than men, and the gap shows up consistently across cultures and age groups. Researchers studying this difference traced it back to that same temporoparietal junction that lit up in the Genoa study. Women, on average, show stronger activity in that specific waking transition window, suggesting the difference isn't really about dreaming more, it's about that brief catching mechanism working slightly differently from person to person. People who are naturally light sleepers, who wake up frequently throughout the night without realizing it, also report far higher dream recall. It's not that they're dreaming more than anyone else. Everyone dreams roughly the same amount each night, several distinct dreams across 4 to 6 REM cycles. It's that they're catching themselves mid-dream more often, hitting that narrow recall window again and again before each fragment has the chance to dissolve. And that explains one of the strangest tricks people use to remember dreams on purpose. If you lie completely still the moment you wake up, before you move, before you reach for your phone, before a single waking thought fully forms, you can sometimes hold on to a dream that would otherwise be gone in seconds. The instant you shift your focus to the room around you, to your body, to the day ahead, you've handed the prefrontal cortex back its job, and it immediately starts overwriting the dream with the business of being awake. The dream isn't being erased so much as it's being paved over by everything real rushing back in at once, which means somewhere in your skull, every single night, your brain writes an entire story. Characters who don't exist anywhere else, places built out of pieces of places you've actually been, stitched together into somewhere new. Conversations with people who said things they never actually said. Fear, joy, grief, all of it fully felt, fully real for those few minutes. And then, almost every time, none of it is kept. You will live thousands of these nights across your lifetime, tens of thousands of dreams, entire invented lives, lived once and never again, vanishing in the time it takes to sit up and check the time. Somewhere behind your eyes right now is a vast, quiet archive of every dream you've ever forgotten, a version of you that has done things, met people, and felt things the waking version of you will never know about. Tonight, you'll go back in, and whatever happens in there will feel completely real while it's happening, and in the morning, most of it will be gone again, the same way it always is. Maybe that's not something to fix. Maybe it's simply proof that some part of you doesn't need to be remembered to be real. It just needs to be felt once while it lasts.